super excited to be here today with this amazing woman. Her name is Courtney, my aunt. I love the name. You said that's like an Egyptian goddess too, right?
Yeah, it's my married name, and basically, wage is a goddess and wage your principles as you go into heaven for truth, justice, reciprocity, and faith.
I love that. That is absolutely amazing. And so you were also a brand partner with Savvi, right?
Yeah, I came upon Savvy 3 years, really looking for something. I really needed something to, one, give me some more income, and two, also to uplift my spirits. And I really believe in the brand and how we really, really support each other. And I just wasn't in a good place. I've been through a lot, and I needed something to really lift me up. And this has been it.
I love that. So tell us a little bit about Savvy and what that looks like, what you guys offer, how you help your community, your consumer.
So Savvy is basically a brand that basically has, we used to just have athleisure, but now we have athleisure, clothing, uh, health and wellness, and beauty products. And we're a RAP certified brand. So whenever we go into a factory or reproduce something, it has to be done on a level. So we're not fast fashion. We really care about who makes our clothing, where we're getting it from, taking care of those who are making what we sell. And that's important to me because you don't have many choices in this world right now, but I have a choice where I spend my money and where those people are using my money. And so it
Yeah.
makes a difference to me to be ethical and a moral brand.
Oh, I love that. So share a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey and how you came to partner with Savvy and a little bit about your background.
Okay. So my background is I'm a clinical therapist, and so I do therapy full time. And I'm a breast cancer survivor. And so I found out at 36 that I have a rare cancer disorder. And I've been through a lot of death, a lot of loss, a lot of body image issues. And
Mm.
to me, I've had several reconstructions. And this is a disorder that you have to keep up with going. So every 6 months, I'm flying to MD Anderson to keep up. And I just noticed that I needed something to lift my spirits. And I
Yeah.
needed a little bit better about being proud of the body, this body that has brought me through so much. And so I started getting back into yoga and wanted a brand that I could wear that made me feel better about myself. I did not know Savvy would be all it's become for me when I entered it. But then after I met the CEO, Jennifer Ashby, and everybody behind it, I felt nothing but support, and it's expanded my network of people who support me, men and women. But it's just been an extra amazing vehicle in my life. Just keep me uplifted. You can't
Yeah.
go through this world alone. You need help.
That's so true. And that is so amazing. And I love when segues are so beautiful. They just help us into the transition. And I think that life offers that to us a lot of times too, where we have a situation and we have to evaluate that situation and determine how we're going to react to it, right? How we take steps towards moving forward. So, what would you say has been one of the challenges that you have faced in order to be where you are with the Savvy brand now?
With the brand, I would say something that you face is just it being an MLM. So many of them get such a bad name. And it's really what you want it to be. I'm not forced to buy anything. I'm not forced to do anything. There are some in the past that have been really put a bad name out there in the industry, but I really have not had any problems with it. I mean, everything I do at Savvy is a choice, just like everything I do in my life is a choice. I always say choose happiness
Yeah.
because I can choose to be a miserable survivor or I can choose to push forward and find the things that bring me joy. And this brings me joy. So I just find that continuing to push forward in every business and entrepreneurship is ups and downs. You have
Right.
trolls, supporters, just like you do in life. Some people have told me so many crazy things about cancer, this, that, because people don't even know that you can be born with a cancer disorder, but you can be. Um,
Wow.
just like in my cancer journey, just like in that walk where we started a nonprofit called Living LFS, I walk the same with Savvy. You hold on to those dearly that support you and you learn to let the other stuff roll off your back. So it's really made me a stronger person to realize that who is somebody else to tell me what makes me happy? If it makes you happy and it makes you some extra income, keep doing it. And it's just a beautiful thing. I've met the most amazing, resilient people.
I love that. So you said you started a 501c3, right? How long have you owned that, been operating that company?
So I'm no longer on the board,
Okay.
but I still support the company. So it's Living LFS, and it's a 501c3, and it was made out of about 8 women who all have Lee syndrome. My sister was one on the original board also, but it got hard during times cancering to still be on the board. So luckily, it's been given over to people who continue to make it flourish.
Yeah.
They have had camp twice and are having another camp next summer. So imagine a disorder that only 1,000 people have, never meeting, never know else, and now we meet up every other summer. So it's just amazing. And I think that just goes back to, we meet usually at a camp, and that just goes back to me needing to be active, because when you have cancer or you have any ailment in your life, the first things that come up are anxiety, depression, and I struggle with that. So being active in my life is it's crucial to my well-being. And
That's so true.
Savvy supports that for me. So, just you need things to keep you going, and it keeps me going.
Oh, I love that. So what is the mission and the core values of the Savvy brand that you really love and appreciate?
So it's be yourself, basically. Come as you are.
Yeah.
We don't want you to be anyone else but yourself. And we say that all the time. And so when I've gone to events, you have people all the way up the ranks, people who just, and no one is treated any differently. It's just a fun time with people getting together. I've gone to several events and I've never felt so welcomed and loved in my life. And Ken and Jen, they just run up to you and hug you like they're just normal people. We also name several products after people who are in that. And also, we do a service project every time we go to an event together. Depending,
Oh, I like that.
we do. And as a social worker, that's me exemplified.
Yeah.
Project. I'm all excited about the service project running around. So depending on what we find in the area where we are, we do a
Mhm.
service project. And I think I'm actually going to start doing that on my own also. I recently went to DR with some friends, and we basically said when we go back next year, we're going to bring book bags, because a service project doesn't have to be big and planned. It just has to be serving others. So we're
Right.
others through Savvy, and Savvy's whole mission is serving others. It's not just about a brand, it's about bringing happiness into somebody. It's about, making sure people feel good and appreciated.
Yeah.
And then what you offer, if they want, that's great, but it's about loving people first. We got a lot going on in this world, and if we just took a little bit better care of each other, I think we'd be a lot better off.
Oh, that's so true. Our firm this year has partnered with it's called the Children's Recovery Center. And it's a place that helps children that have been physically and sexually abused. They take them out of that unhealthy environment same day, and they have a list of foster homes to place them to that's already been vetted and evaluated. So we're doing a toy drive, and so our firm, we are intentional about those services, those active services. We've done deep fried turkey drives and free shopping sprees and all the things, but what's beautiful, I love that you're passionate about the servitude as well, because that has to, well, in my point of view, it needs to be
It has
woven to the fabric of humanity for us to care.
Yeah, it has to come first. You have to serve others before you can get anything for yourself. You have to put others first, and I just think it's
Yeah.
what we need to do. We all need to do that. We have to serve others first.
What was an example of a service product, a service? What did you say it was called? A service project. That's what you said. What's a service project that you guys have done that you really loved?
So the last one I was a part of, when the movie came out about trafficking, we gave
Mm,
a local organization in New Jersey that had a basket for each child as they come out of trafficking. So we gave them a pair of leggings. We all brought things. So I brought bracelets with different emotional sayings on them. We brought lots of
Mm.
different age groups, but just imagine somebody has taken advantage of your body. Somebody has taken everything you own, and somebody gifts you right as soon as you're welcomed something for yourself. That's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah. I think a lot of times we kind of steer away from helping because it feels so insignificant, right? There's a piece of our mind that is like, this person has been through this. What is this little thing going to matter? But that piece of hope, that piece of care, that gift without the expectation of reciprocity itself is amazing. That's what it's about. It's about the hope. It's about saying, I see you, I value you, I understand your pain. I might not know what it feels like personally, but you're still valuable as a person. You know what I mean? It's more about what it says about beside what it is that you're offering itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, being a social worker for over 20 years, this is a job that is kind of thankless. You don't always get a thank you for it, but I sleep at night knowing that I've tried to give back and that I've done the best to serve others. Years ago, I used to work with children who had been abused. And so for me, it's a fabric of who I am. I don't feel okay sitting back and not feeling like I've been a part of helping. Um,
Yes.
it brings me joy. No matter what you've been through, going through something far worse. Cancer was hard, but I made it out. Someone's going through something 10 times what I've been through. And not
Yeah.
everybody walk out on the other side. So we just got to really, really, really appreciate what we have, that anything we can to others, whether it's just a smidgen of something or even a smile or a kind word, whatever it is.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Oh, that's so good. And thank you for the work that you're doing. Thank you for caring. Thank you for being a part of us people that think outside of ourselves, that understand that life is about connection and helping when you can and being selfless even if it is thankless. It's not about the gratitude
Yeah.
ever, right? It's not about what somebody else can offer us, because I want to go before God and know that I did my best, that I didn't just turn the other cheek. There was a long time in my life, I've always had a heart for giving, but there was a time in my life when I started to really look inward, and I really started to just be consumed with me and my family and what we need and all the other things. And I'm like, I don't have time for that. It was kind of, you know what I mean? And then I started to feel so horrible because I realized I was becoming too self-involved, and I wasn't. You have to be compassionate because we're in this thing together. We have to put ourselves in other people's shoes. So how long did you battle with cancer before you got a clean bill of health? I know that you constantly have to, it's always in the back of your mind, right? Isn't that true?
It,
It's
it,
something you never kind of move past.
Fine. Funny thing is, I didn't know that I had a cancer disorder until I was 36. So, over the years in my 20s, I had several breast tumors removed. I had several cysts removed out of my knees. My dad had cancer, then my sister had cancer, and then I had cancer. It's not until I had cancer that we found out that we have a disorder called Lee-Fermini syndrome, or LFS. And so then I was able to tell my sister. My sister and my dad have passed, but I live for them, you know? I live with the strength of what we've all been through, and I am healthy today. I'm healthy because I get surveillance. I have health insurance, which I'm thankful for. And I fly to MD Anderson every 6 months for surveillance. And the goal is just, we can't stop leukemia, but I can catch it at its earliest and hopefully get treatment for a stage 1 instead of a stage 4. But I just choose to be positive. I just choose to live life to its fullest and enjoy every day.
That was my next question, is how do you manage to stay motivated and resilient through your challenges? But I want you to think about that. And we're going to be right back in 29 seconds. You guys don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Yes, and we are back. So, yes, I have to hear what keeps you resilient and motivated through all of your challenges.
My little boy and my nephew. So, I was told I probably wouldn't have children, or, when I found out I had cancer, my son was 2. But before I had cancer, or really, when you think about it, I had this disorder my whole life and not knew. It took me 6 years to get pregnant. So I watched other people get pregnant. It was just something that was really hard for me, knowing I just really wanted to mother a child. And I had to have help of fertility drugs, and I got pregnant on the last drug. I had kind of decided that I was going to stay home and more, and that I wasn't going to be a natural mother, but I was going to have a baby some way. Now I was adopting, I was doing something, and I got pregnant.
Wow.
But my son is just a blessing to me. And my sister, who never thought she'd have children, she had a brain tumor at a young age, and she never thought she'd have children. And my nephew is at 28 with his own 6-year-old. And now, it's a lot of weight, but I'm a mother to him too, because he doesn't have his mother. And so we have a beautiful relationship. And just these boys in my life fill me up. They get to see me doing for others, and then they want to do for others. My son will tell somebody homeless in a heartbeat that my mom's not going to give you money, but she'll help you find some resources.
Yes, yes. We'll offer that support. And really, that is more important in the long-term goal, isn't it?
It
Yes.
really,
Well, I want to tell you something. I'm gonna get personal with you now. I'm gonna tell you a little secret in front of everybody. So I have many people know this if they listen. I have a lung disease called pulmonary sarcoidosis. And
oh,
I get bouts of, swollen lymph nodes, and I don't just get sick, I get pneumonia. Everything is really inflamed and more intense. So, with that, I also have arthritis in my back, and I have degenerative disc disease. Okay. Today is one of the days that my back went out. So, what does that look like for me? That looks like my husband helping me out of the bed. That looks like me walking around with a walker. Okay. And I had the option to cancel this show. And I said, I am going to do it. I'm going to put my makeup on sitting down. I'm going to use my walker, and I'm going to set this ring light up, because if this woman can get through cancer, I'm going to show up for this interview and I'm going to honor this time. So I want you to know that you don't know me from a can of paint, okay? But you're motivating. You motivate people, you motivated me, and I feel blessed to be able to sit here with you today, and I appreciate your time. And just thank you. Thank you so much for carving out time to tell me your story, to tell all of us your story, and just know that you just being here and showing up in all of the greatness that you possess as an individual, Courtney, is powerful. I just wanted to tell you that. And thank you.
human, and thank you for having this platform. I understand chronic pain, and you have it times 10, and you'll be in my prayers and in my heart.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Yes, pray for this back, girl, because it's a mess. So, let me ask you this question. How do you define success? What does that look like to you?
What you just said, being able to touch somebody else, that is a huge success. I think being the person who's been through a lot, you wake up every day, decide to get up and keep going. If you can touch one person or keep one person going in this world, that is success. So I'd love one day to have, like, you know, uh, complete financial freedom, and I'm on my way to that. That is success, but that is not everything. You cannot have financial freedom and wealth without having inner peace.
Mm,
Must come first, and loving myself, who I am, what I've been through, where I am, comes first. All the other things will come in time, but just enjoying life, and being around family. And sometimes when that bone hurts and when I don't want to get out of bed, just knowing I still feel, I still breathe, that is success.
that's good. Oh, that's so good. And that peace part. It's funny. I didn't recognize how powerful peace was until you're standing in front of a situation, or you're in a situation where no amount of money is worth staying in the situation. we've had clients before, write us $100,000 checks and they want to continue move forward, but they are so demanding of our peace. And who would, them as people, you get those red flaggers, those people that you really shouldn't partner with. And it's not until you get to that point that you see that your peace really is uncompromisable, and
I
there's actually no amount of money that you would trade for it. When it comes that time, you're like, you can write me $1 million check for me to stay in this situation because you're worrisome.
not, and it's so true that being an entrepreneur, you do find people who you would have to almost give a piece of your soul for their partnership, and you just can't do it. And that's why we're so blessed to have people like you doing this right now and giving a platform to speak and to spread, our word, because not everybody is worthy of the story. Not everybody is worthy
Mm.
and accepts it in the light that you have. So it's so important.
Oh, isn't that true? But don't you also see that you have to understand, you have to value your own personal peace and understand what peace looks like to you in order to carry yourself and have a certain level of standards,
Oh
to
yeah.
not compromise it for anybody, any dollar amount, any situation, right?
Yeah, I would say about a year ago, I had another cancer scare where I thought I had behind my rib. And I went in for surgery that I was going to die. I thought I had cancer because you get a lot of scares with this. And
Yeah.
set it up to have a friend come with me. And when I woke up, they told me my breast implant had come apart and it wasn't cancer. But these people that helped me through the journey, and then really the mental health recovery that people went on me with after, was I couldn't have asked for more. And when
Yeah.
you see people love you authentically and genuinely, really walk with you in your pain, you are loved. And that is a feeling that just can't be replaced.
Yeah. So who was really in your corner the most during your journey with all of your health battles?
So I have a sister network of friends, a few girls that are really close with. I have a girlfriend Eileen and a girlfriend Christy and several others. And you know what? And my girlfriend's Tamika, she had just went through a horrible divorce, but was still standing by my side. And I realized, even though my husband loves me, his job is to be there for our son. And my girlfriends came with me so that we could be in two places at one time.
Yes.
I really realized that different people can have different roles, and it doesn't take away from my husband's role as a husband, his
Yes.
daddy. And so they
Yeah.
love on me because it's hard for him to see me sick. It's hard for him to see his wife struggle and not be able to repair it. So
Yeah.
I think that for me was God telling me that different people have different roles and it's okay. And it was really the first time where I divvied up those roles. And my friends say it was the first time I allowed help. Now, I never knew that, but I always thought that I just didn't get help, but they said I never allowed it. So that was a huge lesson for me.
Wow. That part, Courtney,
It was, yeah,
I realized that I was notoriously independent, and I think it's a trigger response, that what is it, defense mechanism, like you're just perpetually independent and you don't want any help, and it wasn't until I got sick and I was stubborn and went through all the things, and I was just like, I can't do this on my own. Like, I had to invite my husband in, invite the family in, allow them to help me, because and I was very silent about even what I went through for a long time because I thought that my disease made me look weak. Right?
and and you're vulnerable. So it's such
Yeah.
put up this not a front, but I think we walk proudly with our chest out because we need it to beat what we have going on in our lives. But it's a
Yeah.
hard balance to know when you have to let people in and when you have to be humble and you have to be vulnerable, and you have to be vulnerable with the right people. So it's a
Oh, yeah.
but it's hard to be vulnerable and say that it hurts, or to find the right people that let you have your pity party and then pick it back up the next day and say, let's put on our gloves and fight. You got,
Right.
and I'm lucky to have a circle that really does that, because when you have a chronic disorder or disease, you got to keep fighting, you know, you got to keep
Yeah,
going.
that's true. It sounds like what you have is a moy. Have you heard of the concept of a moy?
What? No, what's that?
Okay, so Moy is a tribe of people. They did this research in this ancient Asian town, and all of these people are living clear into their hundreds. And I'm talking vibrant, still living on their own, cleaning their house, going and playing games, vibrant hundreds, right? So they went and they researched this community to see what it was that was the differentiating factors between, how they're living so long, what were the things they were doing. They found that they have what's called a moy, and it's a circle of friends. There's 5 of them typically. They get together each week. They all, when they get together, they all bring $50, and they take turns on who takes the money. So they support each other financially each week. They work through problems. They have conversations. It's essentially like takes the place of therapy. Is a tight knit friend group where there's no judgment. There's community. They help one another. They rely on each other. And they found that they all had such healthy longevity and lifespans and quality of life because of this friend group that's called a moy. And that's what it sounds like you have.
I do. My grandma, when she was younger, she had something like that, and they called it the Susu Girls. It was a bunch of women who divided the money and all supported each other. And I guess, I grew up seeing that, so I created it for myself. Because
Yeah.
having what you have, it's a lot to bear. And so
Yeah.
have a circle around you, it helps bear the difficulties because we were built a little differently, I believe.
Yeah.
And for one person to take on the same thing as us, I think is a lot. But when I have a group of people around me who can hold up a leg, an arm, a shoulder, it makes it easier for me to lean on them.
Even just to have somebody to confide in, to talk to without the fear of judgment, when you're feeling low, when you're struggling to stay strong, when you're struggling to show up as a mom and a wife and a business owner and all the things, wearing all the hats. Like, we are expected to wear hats as tall as the sky and look fly and do all the things and balance everything perfectly and do it without talking to anybody, because I was raised under the culture of my business is my business.
I know. Don't tell
What'd you say, Courtney?
family business, right?
That's right. So if that culture's been ingrained in you, that's what you think is expected of you as an individual, is to bear everything and bear it alone. But don't get it twisted. You do need to practice discernment when you are evaluating who is your friend group that you can rely on, because people have different seasons and different placements in your life. You might have a friend that is good to go and get coffee with and have conversation with about business, but she might not be the type of friend that you can go and tell when you're feeling vulnerable and where you need a shoulder to cry on. So it does take some discernment and some evaluation, right?
It really does. And I think one of the purposes for me talking to you today also is because there's a lot of things that I've been wanting to do and been holding back. And you've really given me some insight into I do them. I've wanted to start a blog. I've wanted to really share some things that I haven't. And I really feel motivated by you today. So I appreciate you in more ways than you can ever know.
Oh, Courtney, that's so wonderful. And listen, you motivated me today. I motivated you. This is what it's about. This is the good stuff. This is the real stuff right here. I'm so happy. You guys, make sure you visit her website. It's www.savvi.com/MAAT. Okay, visit savvi.com and Maet. And yeah, check out what she has to offer on her online store with Savvi. It's leisure wear. And ladies, we weather it. It's leisure all the time for us. I don't need a reason to put on yoga pants. Okay. So check out her store. And thank you so much for spending time with me. This has been amazing. So we're going to get to the prayer disclaimer, guys. We are a podcast that prays. We close out every podcast with prayer to honor God for our abundance. So are you ready, Courtney? I'm about to close it down. I'm about to pray. You ready?
Thank you. Thank you.
Dear God, we humbly come before you in this day and we thank you. We thank you for another day. We thank you for another amazing connection. We thank you for another conversation that allows us to empower one another and reach to each other for inspiration, to be motivated by your people, Lord God. I thank you for the opportunity to have this platform, to share these amazing people with this audience, amazing people with your audience, Lord God. Thank you for this calling upon my life, and thank you for speaking continued life over Courtney in this season. Thank you for bringing her through all of her battles. I ask that you cover her, Lord God, in your protection. Cover her business and her family and her home. I ask that she prospers. I ask that she continues to flourish in her health, continue to win every battle so that she could continue to glorify as a kingdom warrior, Lord God. Thank you so much. I pray these things according to the character and identity of Christ. Amen.
And beautiful queen.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Courtney. Thank you for spending time with me today. I appreciate you so much.